When I say Tiffany, I don't mean I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to. I don't mean that Tiffany. I mean like Tiffany. Tiffany glass. Tiffany. That Tiffany. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of the Richmond, Wayne County trip for fall activities and things to do with your family in the fall here in Wayne County. We skipped the state line, just like a short 3-minute drive gets you into Ohio. We're in New Paris, Ohio, and we are going to have breakfast at...
So we're not in Richmond or in Wayne County?
No, we're not in Richmond, or we're not even in Indiana right now. We're here at the Cedars, and it is highly recommended as a place to get some great coffee and some great breakfast. And just looking around at the grounds, it's really kind of cool. I feel like you're in like an old-timey campground. You know what I mean? So they've got like a little stage over there. Maybe they have live music that comes and plays. And they got these little, I guess these little, what are these little rock things? Let's go figure. Oh, it's for golf cart parking, because apparently there's like a little campground. Natural Springs Resort, the place for family fun. So they accommodate people that are staying there. Look, chocolate or coffee and chocolate. It's got a nice little outdoor seating area. So let's go in, get some coffee. Oh,
it might be old-timey.
It might be. Historic plaque recipient. The Dayton and Weston Traction Line, New Paris Station. Dedicated in 2024. But, oh, there's a little winery here. We are going to stop into the Cedar Coffee and get us some coffee. Not some chocolate, but we're definitely going to get us some coffee. So walking in, this is just the cutest little thing. They've got a wine bar right here for the lunchtime and afternoon time, and you order your breakfast and your coffee here. It's in like what looks like it used to be like a garage. They probably can open up those garage doors. They've got a nice community board to find out what's going on in the community, and a little gift shop here. They do sell some coffee and some pollen. Ooh, bourbon honey. I have to show that to Mark. Nice little seating area here. And so when we get our food, I'll show you what we got. Just wanted to show you the little seating area over here. This is where we're gonna sit, but it's so cute. And like I said, you can have an outdoor seating area out here as well. It's 50 degrees, so we're gonna stay inside and have our breakfast, but adorable little coffee shop. Okay, we just got our coffees. I got a candy corn latte with oat milk. Mark got a boring vanilla latte, no seasonal flavor, but it's good. I'm gonna try with oat milk. It has a maple cold foam on it. That is good. I got a bacon and cheese and an aioli wrap. Mark got a bacon, sausage, and cheese sandwich. They look delicious. Look at that gooey cheese. All right, Mark, take your bite. Yeah, thinking. It looks good. Has like an artisan bread on it. Very good. All right, my turn. Gooey cheese. Make sure I'm not getting any paper. It's got an aioli sauce on it too. That's really, really good, but highly recommend. So walking around, we have our coffee, just walking around the property here at the Cedars. There's a campground on the other side of this lake, and the lake itself is a natural spring-fed lake. So it's a really, really clear lake. They've got a campground over there, which one day that'll be us in our RV. But this way, they probably have live music and stuff that plays up here on this little stage. But it says this way is a tiny village, and I think you can rent, or maybe, I don't know if you could rent or you buy these tiny homes. It looks like someone might be living in this first one. Got this little path that you can follow. Oh, tiny home residents only beyond this point. So they've got these little tiny homes in Tiny Village that kind of overlook the lake there. So that's kind of fun. All right. Well, awesome coffee, great atmosphere. I definitely would come back here in the evening as well. I think they're just open till lunch, but they've got all these lights on the trees, which I guess at night probably looks really, really. Ooh, look, rooms. See all the fungi, Mark?
Yeah. Smell that.
Ooh, smell it here. They gotta smell it first. Ooh, it smells like Christmas. Christmas is coming. Next stop is we're going to go back to Indiana, 3 miles down the road and back into Indiana. We're going to go to the Reid Center, and we're going to look at some Tiffany stained glass windows, and we're going to be going into the interior of this building, and the interior of it was designed by Tiffany. So that's kind of, I think it's going to be kind of neat to see. So let's go back to Indiana. And Mark just had a question. When I say Tiffany, I don't mean, I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to, I don't mean that Tiffany. I mean like Tiffany glass, Tiffany, that Tiffany. All right, we are now at the Morrisson Reeves Library here in Richmond, and we're going to be meeting with Sue King, who is going to tell us a little bit about the Tiffany windows that are actually in this library, and then we're going to take a walk down to the Reid Center, which is an old church, and every window in that church is made by Tiffany, not the singer. The actual guy, Tiffany. This library is a newer library. It was built, and you can see the remnants of the old Morrisson Reeves library down there. We'll get a closer look at that down there. But we did just walk around a little farmers market, which was really, really nice. They have this farmers market in season on every Saturday. It was a great little farmers market in a really nice little public park right here in the middle of downtown Richmond. So we're getting ready to go in and talk with Sue, and she's going to give us a little history lesson on the Tiffany windows that are on display. So this was the original library.
That was the original
in
library.
1864.
1864.
Yeah, that's Civil War era.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really cool.
And originally,
This is Sue, by the way.
yeah. So originally it was just called the Morrisson Library because
Yeah.
Robert Morrisson is the person who donated the land and the building plus $5,000 to stock it.
Yeah.
So his portrait is up there. We'll see that
Oh,
in
yeah.
a second. In 1892, a woman named Caroline Middleton Reeves donated another $30,000 to expand the library. And of course add her family's name to it. So
Right.
that's why we're called Morrisson
Morrisson Reeves. Yeah, we were just talking. We haven't been in a library in a long time, which is really pretty sad. And I'm like, look at self checkout
Yes.
kiosks.
Yep.
It's amazing.
We got a lot going on.
Yeah.
The Children's
Well-
Research Services has got stuff going on. all
Well,
the
you
time.
know, it's a good library when people are waiting outside the door to get in for them to open up the doors. I mean, that's a pretty good sign
We're
there.
having the farmers market right across. the
Yeah,
street.
we walked
Definitely
through
helps
there.
on,
Yeah.
on Saturdays.
Right.
Excuse me.
So we're going to take a little bit of a tour
Yes.
of the library facilities.
Added on. So the building was looked like this,
Mm-hmm.
and the $30,000 that Mrs. Reeves donated added to this. Okay, so the original library is still underneath all that.
Oh,
but
okay.
It expanded down to the south. They got into the next lot, and this is where the new stack
Mm-hmm.
areas are.
Okay.
It added the tower.
Yeah.
See, the 1893, that was the heyday of Richardsonian Romanesque. And so this is textbook. It's got,
Oh, yeah.
everything's faced with stone, arches, lots of arches, and of course the tower, very asymmetrical. So this is just,
Classic
actually,
architecture
it looks
for the time.
A lot like, I don't know if you've been to the courthouse, which is catty
Mm-hmm.
corner ways. But a lot of people, when they see this picture, they think it's the courthouse
Mm-hmm.
because they were both under construction right at the same time. So at the same time, the original was brick, and so the the son of Robert Morrisson paid to have the north faced with stone to match the east, and he installed this 2-story bay window.
Yeah.
And then his grandchildren put this. You can just barely see it in this photograph, but the Tiffany window.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So I know you're going to be seeing the Reid Memorial Church, or the Reid Center.
Yes.
I know you're going to be seeing that a little bit later, and that's amazing and it's fantastic. But I always have to point out, this was the first one in Richmond. This was installed.
Wow.
This was installed in 1895. So
Oh, wow.
it's the first. So since we're here, why don't we just go ahead and take a look
Yeah.
at that? So the thing that's great about this building currently is the fact that, in the 60s, this building was horribly overcrowded, and they talked, on and off for 10 years. Do we build a whole new building, or do we add on to this again?
Yeah.
Ultimately, the decision was made to tear this down.
Oh, that just breaks my heart. Yeah.
And I can tell you that there are people still
That are
mad
upset about it,
Yes.
yeah.
So it had to go. There are a lot of reasons that I won't get into now, but Mrs. Bard, who was the librarian at the time, did the next best thing, and she worked with the architect to incorporate pieces of this building into this one. But no, the exterior bricks were original to the 1975 build, but there are pieces of the old.
Yeah, we saw the arch.
Exactly.
Yes. They've incorporated it.
yes,
So they've kept the history.
Exactly.
Oh, that was from the peak.
Right.
Okay.
From up
okay.
there. And then all of these little columns here are out in the courtyard as well. And actually, these are not in order because I have to reuse them many times over. So the actual lintel over the old door is incorporated in that.
Oh, nice.
And in fact, the light that was over the front door is installed over
Oh,
this way
cool.
too. So
Oh,
it's
cool.
still
It's neat.
in use.
Yeah, I'm glad that they did that.
So
Oh,
this,
wow.
this is the Tiffany window. This is ours, and so this is not an ecclesiastical one. This is for a public library. This depicts Mr. Gutenberg pulling the first page off of his brand new printing press, which is very appropriate for a public library. So as I said, it was commissioned by the great-grandchildren of the original donor, and so it commemorates the previous 3 generations.
Oh, nice.
So the first Robert Morrisson there is our Robert Morrisson, and then his son, his son, who actually died young.
Yes. Oh, yeah,
and then,
he did.
And then the grandparents. So.
And then down here, you can see that's signed
Exactly. Yes.
by Tiffany. 1894. That's amazing. And this is using that Favre.
Favreau glass.
I say everything wrong, pretty much. Which is the folding of glass.
Right. And this, actually, when we had a Tiffany expert in here many years ago, she had never even seen this collar on
Oh,
this guy.
wow.
It's one of the most striking bits.
I'm gonna move this chair
in
over so I
sign.
can get back in there. That is amazing. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it is like it's
very
pulled
thick.
out. Yeah.
It's very thick. And somehow,
Wow.
the folds were incorporated into the glass.
Yeah,
and
you
it
can
was
see the
still
folds
molten.
here.
And the stocking right here.
Yeah. It definitely gives it a lot of movement.
Absolutely. And that was the
see
thing, and
down here.
I know I'll talk about this over at the
folding.
church quite a bit too, that Tiffany was a master at,
Oh, yeah.
at how light passed through
Yeah.
the glass. And so
I mean, just like looking at the faces. It
now the
looks like
faces are actually painted on.
Are they? Okay, and say it looks like a portrait.
Right.
So that would make
Those
sense.
are. But that's the thing. Tiffany wanted to paint as little as possible, and so as
Mm-hmm.
much of the detail is actually in the glass.
That's amazing.
It's
Yeah, it's all layered.
Because see, like this is much.
Yeah, it's bulging out.
Bulging out.
The camera just is not doing it justice.
It really tends to not. That's true.
To tell you guys too, this is something else. If you are visiting Wayne County, this is something that's totally free. You can come into the library and you can view these beautiful, beautiful windows and see it for yourself. So just another thing that you can do here in Wayne County that won't cost you any money. So it's just a remarkable. Now, crests. signify?
So when it was originally configured, you really can't. I don't have a really good picture just from
Yeah.
the side, but this was the main window, and then this larger one here would have been directly above it.
Okay.
And this has got 4 printer's marks.
Ah.
Back when creating the physical book was an act of artistry
Yeah.
itself, then this, the men who, and they would have been men,
Yeah.
who created the book, not the text, but the book,
itself.
would mark it with their mark.
Wow.
And then
And that's all in Latin, you think, maybe?
these are
Yeah.
books let us into the souls of men and lay open to us their secrets.
Wow.
Oh no.
I know, it's kind of,
Yeah, it's not great.
but it's not, but just looking at it, I'm thinking that it's in Greek.
To us, the secrets of our own.
Got it.
Okay. And then study as if you were to live forever, live as if you were to die tomorrow.
Ah,
Which is not bad. So these two then would be on either side of that
nice.
one.
Okay. So it's all kind of incorporated into
Oh, yes.
one large piece.
Yeah, there's a small. I mean, this is the front. Well,
Yeah,
it's
you can
definitely-
kinda
you just
see.
So, the major one right there, and then up above, and then on either side. So
Nice.
that's how those were configured.
Wow.
And then you said that the text and the faces were all painted.
Yes.
I'm assuming that this was up for 50-some years, but at
Oh,
least.
right.
From 1894
100 years, yeah.
till 1974 when it was 75 when it was moved here.
Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, that's the thing with the ones over at the church.
It's beautiful.
The colors are still vibrant. I don't
Yeah.
know exactly how that works, some sort of
Right,
magic,
to have
but
paint-
everything looks absolutely like it did the first day.
Beautiful.
Other level, and then you're looking up at the third level, and you can just barely see the floor. So these tables are made of the floor of the old
Oh
stacks.
my gosh, that is amazing. I love that.
Yes.
That is special.
We
How
have
many of these do you? Are there?
13 around the building.
13.
I'd seen the other ones, and I thought maybe they were something
Yes.
repurposed.
That's amazing. I love that.
A ton.
Oh, I bet they do. When people used to walk on them, they had to be.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Very beginning. The original reading room
Oh, wow.
looked like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, the original, like the 1864 building, the entire library was just this one room.
Wow.
So it was bookshelves on the lower level and then the upper level, and the only access was this spiral staircase. This is 1864 original equipment.
Look at how beautiful the spindles are. Look how narrow those stairs
It is.
are.
And when I had the kids doing this, I tell them, now think about walking up and down this spiral staircase in high heels, a long skirt, a corset, and an armful of books. So,
Wow.
yes.
That's amazing. And there's got like the little gate door there.
And there's a corresponding one down there too.
That's amazing.
Because that's one of the things you don't really think about. Back then, the books were all locked away.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask.
You could not, it wasn't until 1913 that we had open stacks where you could just go and walk up and down the aisles and pick out your own book.
Okay, thank you.
The access, I don't think I got a picture of it here, but literally it was a book. Even before the card catalog, there was a book that was the catalog.
The catalog.
Or anything that was on the shelf. And you were supposed to make your selection while you were still at home, fill it out on a card, and give
Wow.
that card to the librarian, and she would unlock the doors and bring you your book. Wow. That's how it worked early on.
That's amazing. Boy, times have changed, haven't they? Now we've got you check it out yourself on the computer. So this over here is the light that was on the in the entryway.
Above the front, yeah, above the front door.
Oh, I love that they kept it as much as they could. That's beautiful. Now, was it originally gas powered?
Originally, probably, yes.
Oh, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, there it is right there. There it is right there. And there it is now. That's beautiful. Even that globe is beautiful.
Yeah.
That swirled glass. the library. Look, you can borrow Wilton cake pans.
Library of Things, I think we call it.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Borrow the unexpected. You can when you can check out cake pans and cookie cutters and molds and chafing dishes and yard games
and stuff. There's all kinds of stuff.
That's
Stuff that,
amazing.
you're not going to use very much, but you
Yeah.
want it for one thing. You don't
Yeah.
want to go out and buy it, so yeah, you borrow it.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Mr. Morrisson, Robert Morrisson, was the founder. He was a good Quaker. In that
I was gonna say, was he a Quaker?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he didn't, when he gave all of his philanthropic gifts, of which there were many, and we don't even know the half of them, but he wanted it to be very anonymous.
Uh huh.
Well, maybe not anonymous. A lot of them were anonymous, but he didn't want it to be a big fuss. But some of the citizens persisted and got him to allow them to commission this portrait. So this was installed in the library, the original library, about 6 months after it opened, and it stayed in the same spot until 1975 when it was moved here.
Wow.
It's kind of interesting about this painting is when the artist finished it and presented it to the committee, they said, well, that's a lovely painting, but it really doesn't look like Robert Morrisson. And so what they did is they hired a new artist that had just come to town named Marcus Mote. I don't know if that means anything to you, but he's a big shot in local art circles. So Marcus Mote actually repainted the head and hat. And when I first heard that story, I thought, oh, come on. But apparently Marcus Mote's diary is over in the Earlham archives.
Uh-huh.
And I was told by Tom Hand that yes, he talks about redoing this painting. So that's to me, that's gospel.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
Incredible.
I would say this is a painting that has two artists.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you can kind of, if you look closer, there's kind of a halo effect around
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, and that's because there were two artists, somebody different brush strokes, and
Uh-huh.
I don't know anything about that. But when it was conserved in 1964 for the centennial, and the report from those folks said, yes, there are definitely different brush strokes around the head. So
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense. Oh, it's beautiful.
we have, you can just see it right there. It's called our bimbo fountain. And that's because it was named after the folks, that's the family name. Their dog was named Bimbo. And unfortunately, Bimbo died of rabies in 1911. And common knowledge at the time held that the cause of rabies was not enough water. And so this was installed on the north face of the library, right on the sidewalk, and it was intended for all the neighborhood dogs and cats.
Neat.
And it was intended to be a way to prevent rabies. Now we know that's not the case anymore, but that was its intent in 1911.
Neat.
And again, it was moved over here along with all the other treasures that we have.
And then all the columns from the
those were
previous
straight off
building.
on the front.
Oh, beautiful.
Yep.
I love that they preserved so many bits and pieces.
Yes.
I think that's amazing.
I totally agree.
They just don't do that anymore. I wanted to say too, you can come and you can definitely contact the library if you're wanting to, meet with Sue and she can give you the spiel herself. But on different little spots there are where they have little placards to read a little bit more about the library and all the pieces that they have saved, like out here in the courtyard, all the original columns and that sort of thing. And then we've got the Morrisson Reeves Library. This was the kind of the capstone that was at the top of the old library. But they've done a really good job at marking things that you can, do your own self-guiding tour. And again, totally free. You can walk through and, view this museum/library for yourself. But we're getting ready to head over to the church to see the Tiffany windows. So now we are at the Reid Center, and every window in this church, other than the basement windows, are Tiffany windows. And they were all commissioned 1905 era And each window costs around $2,000 in 1905. So we're gonna go inside so we can take a look. Here, oh, Nosferatu. Oh, I would love that. When is that? October 26th.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the store and look at the sculptures. Now, Sue said that the limestone she believes is well quarried in Bedford, Indiana, which is where we are. Limestone capital of the world. This is beautiful. Oh, wow. Wow.
I will do what my compatriot does. I'll start you over here in the.
Ooh, oh my gosh.
So this was originally the Sunday school room, and it is designed so that you've got classrooms up and down on either side with those great accordion doors.
Yeah.
So all of the classrooms could be, partitioned off to have individual classrooms. But if there was some event that was going on in the great room, then they could throw open all those doors and everybody could participate.
Nice. Wow.
So yes, this is the picture window that is in this room. It's not a memorial window, but it definitely is a picture window. So this is Christ in the Temple, the teenage Christ in the center there. Very appropriate for a Sunday school room.
Yep.
Which is why it's here. This window is, I personally usually end with this one because, you get the full blast of the two memorial windows in this auditorium, but these are great because you can actually get up close to them. You can really get in there and see the texture of the robes and the curtains and everything.
And even the painting, the hand painting on the faces it's just stunning.
It is.
Wow. And the color. That aqua blue.
Yes.
Oh, these are amazing.
They definitely are.
Now, these were 1905?
Yeah, 1905. They were installed in 1906.
And they're all Tiffany?
They're all Tiffany. Let's see. Wow. The signature is really, really hard to see, but it's right down here in this corner.
Yep. There it is. Well, it's kind of hard to see there, but it is there.
It really is.
Tiffany Studio, New York.
Those faces on this one especially look just 3D.
I know.
They're not.
I know.
I mean, they're relatively flat, but
I mean, even the painting on the hands
Right.
and on the feet. I mean, even when you get up close, they still seem so lifelike.
Right.
I mean, even like on the columns, the way that those columns are back there.
Yeah, it's very minute
Oh,
detail.
it's just stunning.
It definitely is.
You can see that folding technique.
Yes.
It almost makes it look milky.
Right. I
Gives
think
it
that's
so
a
much.
hallmark of
Oh,
Tiffany.
oh, it's so beautiful. And all this texture.
so we were talking about.
And on his on that little rhinestone right there, that's just like a big blob of glass.
True. But not much.
Wow, and you can see it goes all the way up. And I think I had read that each of these were about $2,000 in 1905, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, it depends on which source you look at. I haven't really nailed that down myself. I know in the
Stunning.
correspondence we had like the final bill from Tiffany. I need to dig that back out.
Ooh.
Generally, every first and third Wednesday, we have a short concert at noon. And they vary from, sometimes it's the organ, sometimes it's the star piano. But
Yes, the star piano. I'm like geeking out over the Janet.
So yeah, we have a wide variety of concerts. Sometimes we had a dulcimer group a couple times. So
Oh, nice.
A variety. As far as the evening concerts or events, we've had Jeff Hamilton, who is a Richmond graduate, but he is an internationally known jazz drummer. So he's been here twice, filled the place. We've had blues concerts last March, not this past one, but the one before. No, it was the last one. Sorry. We had a like a Celtic group for St.
Oh,
Patrick's Day.
I bet that was neat.
So, and then of course we've got last October we had Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Accompanied by the Hook and Hastings organ.
Oh.
Which was amazing. So in a couple of weeks we're having Nosferatu with the same thing. So I'm
Yeah, that's going to be amazing.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see it's nice, but it's
nice.
not.
Yeah, so she was
not
saying
like the others.
there is one pane that had to be replaced. And let's see if you can tell. Can you tell which pane? You know, it's nice. They did a good job. It's this one, obviously, but it's just not like this. There's just something special about it. So these windows are priceless because you cannot replicate that anymore. Yeah.
Even that, we always point that out, that even the hardware is little tiny works of art.
Yeah, these just accordion slide. That's amazing. Even the light fixtures in this room, those are all beautiful as well.
All of the interior design was done by Tiffany. Now they didn't make the pews, but they designed.
They designed the pews and they designed the mosaic floors.
There is a panel in the foyer that talks about, you know, this is done by Daniel Reid and his, you know, in honor of his parents. All the woodwork.
All designed by Tiffany. Yeah. Even probably down to those, even down to those the hardwares on the door.
Absolutely.
And the frosting of the glass on the partitions. Yep. Wow. The staircase, everything.
Yep.
Prepare to be amazed. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yes, it is breathtaking. It really is.
You feel like you're in another country.
Just about.
Are we in Europe right now?
I don't even know where to look.
Yeah. Everywhere you look, there is something that's just as beautiful as the first thing that you saw. Even like all the wallpaper. Is that wallpaper? Or is that painting?
I'm pretty sure it's painted on.
Oh my gosh, a fresco.
Painted leather.
Oh.
It's got a texture to it.
Wow. This is stunning. All the Tiffany windows here, everywhere. Wow. And this beautiful organ.
Yes. And the organ, as I always say, I know nothing about organs, but the people who do know about organs are in love with this.
Oh, I bet. And like she said, they did Phantom of the Opera where they incorporated the organ. They're doing Nosferatu where they're incorporating for spooky season.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it was
Just the way that this ceiling just, I mean, I know you're watching this on video and but I'm certain that it is not translating by being here on video.
So I can tell you that this window over here, this is in 1906, this was the memorial window because this is the only one that was here.
Okay.
This is the one that says it is dedicated, this whole church is dedicated to his father and mother. And so it's got, you know, Daniel Reid, his father, and Anne Gray Reid.
Yeah, you can see that. Right below Christ there, father and mother.
And this is not backlit at all, right?
No.
This is by sunlight.
No, sunlight.
But look how the center pane is more vibrant than any of the other ones.
It's kind of misleading on a bright sunny day like today, but in fact, when I do this tour on a dreary, rainy day, it still looks that gorgeous.
Yeah, the center one with Christ.
That's Tiffany's artistry. How the light came through the glass, and the same thing with this. This faces north, so it's never going to get full sunlight, but it still looks like it's.
It does.
Sunlight.
I mean, even the wings on the angels' wings, they look like feathers.
No, but I was saying.
Yeah, how it's lit. Yeah.
It does, and that's by design.
That's amazing.
So while you're on this one was not here in 1906. It wasn't recorded exactly why, but he decided that he needed another memorial window to balance out the one over here.
Well, you know, balance. Maybe he was a little OCD.
I don't know. So it was never recorded what was in this, so that the 5 panels in the center there were replaced. And they probably looked like what was in the east window over here. You could say an off-the-shelf Tiffany window.
Yeah.
We know that this one was created for this building.
Wow.
Frederick Wilson, who was the preeminent artist for Tiffany, created this design, and it was, of course, it was going to cost twice as much because he had to replace what was in there, and it was a lot harder than if it was done when it was under construction. But again, there was no limit on Daniel Reid's.
He had the money.
He had the money. This one, what really is interesting about this one is it's Easter morning, and we as the viewers are inside the tomb looking out.
Ah,
see an awful lot.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, look at the smoke off the torches.
Exactly.
Right.
It's just
See the smoke
detail
off
is
the
just
torches
crazy.
right there? And this the flowers.
Exactly. All those lilies.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
This also then is a memorial window. It's really to see that it's to faithful elders.
Yep.
So William S. Reid was actually Daniel Reid's eldest half-brother, and Andrew Scott was president of the Second National Bank, and probably the man who gave young Daniel Reid his first job as a messenger boy.
Wow. Humble beginnings.
This one was installed when?
Oh, it was dedicated in 1909, Easter morning of
Okay.
1909.
Wow.
So about
I mean, and even from here, just the expression on their faces is translating just that awe. Wow. It's stunning.
It really is.
Wow. Now, I bet the acoustics in this room are
Well,
unreal.
it was, from the get-go, it was designed to be a performance venue. I mean, it looks like a theater. I mean, that was an option in those days, but it's not the usual, one aisle down the middle and just straight. So this, the floor is slanted. It was designed to be a performance venue, and that's why we're trying to continue that as the Reid Center by having concerts here.
Yes. Well, and the church back in the day was like the center of everybody's, so they would have entertainment, and that was like their gathering place. So it makes sense. But I mean, the windows are gorgeous.
Yes.
The organ is stunning, but the ceiling too.
Right.
And the light fixture, and it's very medieval. Like I feel like I'm in Europe.
It's very Gothic.
It's very Gothic.
Yes.
I love it.
And it's just such a gem, and people don't really know much about it. Is get people in here to see it and see how freaking amazing it is.
It is. What do you think, Mark?
It's amazing.
So again, this is something that if you are wanting to come in and see it, if you want more information, if you're coming and you want to see inside, where should people?
Right now, what we're, because yes, we have a lot of
Events
requests.
right now.
Well, right this year we're having fewer events. We're concentrating on some other things, but we still have the noon concerts, and
Those are on Wednesdays, right?
the best thing to do is get on our Facebook page. We have,
Okay.
It's Reid Center. We have our website is reidcenter.org.
Okay.
And any information on concerts, upcoming concerts. We also, in fact, today is the second one. On the second Saturday of the month, I come in and I do a public tour.
Oh,
So
awesome.
if you're available to come on the second Saturday, that's the perfect opportunity.
Okay. Well, I will link the Facebook and everything in the
Yeah.
description so people can go in and they can check and just, email or contact and see what's available. But definitely if you're able to come on these the Wednesdays at noon.
First and third Wednesday.
Yeah. Then that's good because you're going to be able to hear the acoustics. You're going to be able to get a show and still come in and see these beautiful, beautiful windows. Absolutely breathtakingly stunning.
Oh, you want to go upstairs?
Oh yeah. Oh, this is Mr. Reid?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Reid.
Yes. And then on the other side are his parents. So.
Which they meant a lot to him.
Absolutely,
He
absolutely.
dedicated, these memorial windows to his mother and father. They must have done a really good job at raising him.
I think so.
Wow. And he had very humble beginnings.
He did, yes. was born and raised on the west side of Richmond. Actually, it wasn't even part of Richmond at that point. It was only annexed later. His father died when he was about 15 years old, and he immediately went to work as a messenger boy in the Second National Bank. He was a very hard worker and worked his way. Ultimately, he was one of the vice presidents of the bank.
Wow. And he gave back a lot to his community.
He really did. And that's one thing, even after he became the tin plate king, and
Yes.
we didn't really get into too much of that. We can do that another time.
Yeah.
As far as his biography. But yes, he was fabulously wealthy.
Yeah.
And once the tin plate company was folded into U.S. Steel in 1901, then he was just insanely wealthy. And that's when he started
philanthropy.
Back here well, he actually, I've got a whole file in the library of all of the gifts that he made. And I know it's not complete, but he would give an organ to this church and $100 to this building fund. But this church was his gift.
Wow.
The thing that's really nice about it is, yes, he went off to New York City and lived the high life. He had his own yacht, he had his own rail car, a 3-story stable on 70th Street, a house on Fifth Avenue, a mansion up in Irvington, New York. But with all that, he still considered Richmond to be his home.
Yeah.
And he did. He spent a lot of money back here. Not just on this. The original building for the Reed Memorial Hospital was also financed by him.
Yeah. And it's still named after him to this day.
Yes, the organization is.
Yeah.
The building is gone.
Yes.
But the organization still exists and bears his name to this day.
So his name is mentioned a lot, which is a testament to everything that he's done. When you pass away, when did he pass away? In the 30s?
1925.
Okay. So, here we are 100 years later and we're still saying his name.
That's right.
So, that's a testament to, his honor and everything that he did for this community and is still doing for this community even after his death. So that's quite an accomplishment for someone.
There's a lot of, like Mother Pearl integrated into that marble. It was not an easy thing, and I know they kept hounding him right up to the very end for the text, the final text, because this was not something you just stamp out and So they kept saying, if you don't give us the text, it's not going to be ready for May. But apparently it was.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Like it really is.
So now we're going to go up to the balcony, the main sanctuary area. Again, all of this woodwork, everything in here, the panels, everything was designed by Tiffany. This door here. Get a bird's eye view. Wow. Oh, it's so amazing. This would probably just be an amazing place just to come in here and sit.
Absolutely.
In solitude.
I know some of the people. We have a group of 6 or 7 organists that come in here frequently to keep. So this organ has still been played all through. So it's still being maintained. But yes, the folks that come in here and can sit here by themselves, I know that they do that.
Oh, absolutely. Wow. Even all of the detail on all of the pews, again, all designed by Tiffany. Oh, it's so pretty.
These windows here, there's like in the very center, there's a real thick piece of.
Oh, yeah. Right in the center of that cross. It's a big blob of glass. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, so you can see up in that center cross. I don't know if it's gonna make it out on video, but it's like a blob of glass right in there. It's textured, and over here on this crest, you can kind of see that it pops out in the center there. Oh, it's so pretty. All right, I wanted to see real quick. This is the beautiful star piano. Beautiful grand. Now at the Jennett Mansion where we're staying, they have the baby grand. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I even love the wear on the seat from people's butts. That's history, you know, that's history. Love it. Well, the Reid Center was absolutely fantastically amazing. That was an incredible place to see. It really, really is. So I think the video is probably going to be very long. So I think I'm going to end this part here, and I'm going to continue with another video here in Wayne County, because we have some apple orchard to go to, a winery to go to, an antique fair to go to. So we've got a lot more things to go to, and I am certain this video is already quite long. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. You got to see a lot of the Reid Library and the Morrisson Reid, or the Reid Center and the Morrisson Library. So make sure that you check those places out. Again, totally free places for you to see here in Wayne County. What did you think of it, Mark?
It was amazing.
It was it's kind of one of those things like the Model T Museum that you think, I don't really like cars. Then you get in there and it really sparks your interest, and it really makes you want to know more about it. So don't discount places because you think, I don't really care about cars, or I don't really care about stained glass windows. Go and check it out. It's incredible the things that you learn about places, sometimes right in your own backyard. So go check out these places. I will link everything down in the description below so you can have easier access to contact them if you want to come for a visit. But we are on our way to some more locations, so stay tuned for that. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not subscribed. We're going to carry on with the adventures here in Wayne County, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Hot